Yung question namin is actually divided into two parts. First is about you, because we also want to establish a background where you're coming from. So we're going to ask just a few questions on that. And then the second part is on memories of Menjola. What you remember most when you covered it. And then the last part is how you covered it and then eventually when it aired or it went on print. So,
Your preference is English Tagalog or Taglish?
Kung ano po yung ano ninyo. Normally we do it Taglish.
Okay.
Yung first is, if you could provide a brief description of your current position right now.
Current, not yung
And then maybe later on you could go back to...
Now I'm the news manager of Channel 5.
Excuse me, I don't know.
Been here since 2004. Yun, basically, the guy who gets blamed for everything.
So you basically, news manager, so you content everything.
The whole banana.
The whole production.
Everything from the production, editorial, administrative.
Since 2004.
No, I've been in Channel 5 since 2004, pero when I came here in 2004, operations manager, news.
Operations manager.
Actually, halos lang kaibahan.
Walang kaibahan.
It's a matter of titles lang. Indian, you get blamed for everything else.
Before that, before ABC5,
I was with Channel 2.
With Channel 2. How long were you with Channel 2?
1999 to 2004. I was a correspondent for the correspondence, and I was the executive producer of the correspondence. Before that, 98 to 99, I was chief of reporters for the Manila Times. 98 to 99. And then before that, in 94 to 98, I was a senior reporter and associate producer for Sky Cable News, that's the sister company of ABS-CBN. Before that, I was with the ABS-CBN's Public Affairs from 92 to 94. It was the leasing days. Before that, I was senior reporter for Channel 5, 1992 yun, 6 to 8 months by the time. Before that, from 89 to 1992, I was senior reporter for Manila Times. And before that, my first job was for Manila Chronicle. I was a correspondent from 1987 to 1989.
So, fresh from college, you already became you studied journalism.
UP.
My question would be, when did you first start to cover news on the protests in Menjola? Or, like, protests in Menjola?
I had a smattering of coverages in Menjola during my time with the Manila Chronicle. Because I was assigned with the Western Police District.
The beat,
yeah. Although, hindi masyado yung coverage ko noon during that time because I was on night shift. Check ko ito, bro.
Wala.
So, karamihan mga story ko noon, puro patay o disaster, Doña Paz, kaya yung kudeta, gano'n. So, ibang reporter na nagko-cover mostly noon. So, yun nga, I didn't have too much coverages in Menjola in the late 80s when I started. Most of my coverage in Menjola were in the mid-1990s already. When I was with what was I? Sky Cable News. Yun. So, I'm afraid yung late 80s, as far as professional coverage is concerned, wala masyado.
Wala
I have recollections of that time as a student.
As a student,
And, impressions na, pero iba yun.
Were you involved sa student movements to please?
Nung 85-86 UP days, medyo medyo mainit ng panahon nun eh.
Oo,
So,
oo.
taga-UP ka.
So, nagpunta kayo sa Mindoro.
Yeah, well, I didn't get to join all the rallies, but I joined several. Kasi, admittedly, there was a period in my life was pro Marcos. Galing sa seminary eh. So in the seminar, they teach you things like, it's the communists or Marcos. Siyempre, Marcos ka na. So, it was a late blooming of sorts eh. Siguro late 85 na nun nung ano ba ito nagagawa natin? Tumama na nga tayo dun. So, ayan, sama ka sa mga rally-rally, bubong rin kayo minsan. Kaya siguro once lang.
Once lang sa Menjola?
Yeah.
Or,
Very vague recollection already kasi those were the build-up days pa lang eh. Mas yung peak pa was 86 eh. Because that's already.
Were you a member of an organization?
Militant organization?
No.
No. I was a member of a club in UP, Journalism Club, and we had a different, set of things to do. We weren't identified with the RAs or the RDs, wala pa naman ganun eh. But we weren't identified with them. We were just simply militante without having any political color yet. You know what I mean? Parang Marcos eh. Hindi ganun.
So when you said na yun nga, you started to cover news on Menjola protests, nung nasa Sky Cable News ka na?
Yeah, more consistently, I mean.
More consistently.
More consistently.
Were you still were you a beat reporter then?
In Sky kasi we left the beats to ABS-CBN. In Sky, we assign ourselves stories that we want to do. So pag may malaking mobilization, for example, I'd like to jump in and cover that. Or there's a big issue. In other words, we cover issues, not beats.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up, rubbing elbows more often with the more militant organizations, Kapatan, Bayan, Muna. Kasi we cover their issues more than we cover geographical beats.
You mentioned that you wanted, pag may big mobilization, you wanted to cover the protest. Why did you want to do that? I mean, as a young journalist.
The thing kasi with well, this is my point of view now. The thing with the left and the thing with the militant organizations is that for the longest time, until only recently, they've failed to make a big portion of the public understand what they stand for. They got stuck for the longest time with the slogans without bothering to explain issues on a more factual level. And parang I figured that's where we came in.
Where
we came in as journalists. Bigyan mo ko ng slogan, hindi ko pakikinggan yan. Paliwala mo sa akin anong problema. And I think that's where we came in. So, ayun, that was my mindset eh. That's why I like covering these things. Kasi I could see that there were a lot of issues that needed to be explained and covered. The only problem being na parang the left didn't want to bother with the middle class na parang wala masyado pakialam. Whereas the middle class naman parang komunista kayong lahat eh. So there was a disjunct eh. Hindi sila nagkikita eye to eye. I figured that was a chance for us to try to bridge that gap.
Sa tingin nyo, it's your role to explain, to go deeper.
To go beyond yung sloganeering. Kahit the issues are there, sayang naman ang issues kung yung mapaliwanag. Whether they're land conversion, whether they're human rights abuses, or whether it's the national ID system, yung mga ganun things eh. If you leave it to the left, actually yung left na ngayon, medyo nag-improve na yung nila yung PR machinery nila eh. Natututo na sila magpaliwanag. Pero during that time kasi, they were just happy to shout slogans. And kung di mo maintindihan, hindi ka makalit, bahala ka sa buhay mo. So yeah, that's where I thought we should come in.
Sa tingin mo na-achieve mo yun as a journalist?
In a way, na-achieve din siya. Malaki yung tinalo ng meeting of minds between issues identified with the left and the mainstream. Malaki yung tinalon eh. Malaki yung pinantay eh. Before talagang ganun eh. Talagang either mahilig ka mag-mall o mahilig kang mag-sloganeering. Ganun ka lang, either or eh. Ngayon, gumagano'n na eh. And ngayon, if you notice din, yung kaliwa, natututo rin natututo rin silang magpaliwanag ng maigi. Now they take great pains to grab public attention and try to engage people in dialogue. I'm not saying that again. I'm not saying that their issues are wrong. What I'm saying is that their issues are right. Eh. It's just that they're doing it wrong. Hindi mo na-engage mga tao. I don't know if we're going to what you want to talk about.
No, it's okay.
Nung time na yun, sisimula kang i-cover sila, paano nalalaman mo yung sa may mobilization sa mundo?
Kasi after a certain number of times that you cover the groups, they know you not just by face but by they know how to get in touch with you already. Uy, ito mga to, masuki natin to. Uy, tawagan mo na eh. For contemplation, tawagan mo na, dali. Ganun eh. And may plus and minus yan. May positive and negative. The plus of it is that hopefully with reporters consistently covering issues like these, the reporter would have a better knowledge and grasp of issues and be in a better position to explain them. That is the ideal. On the negative side naman, minsan the reporter ends up thinking like the people he's covering, which isn't very helpful because sometimes even the reporter when he writes starts writing like a manifesto, which is also not good kasi to begin with, that degrades yung credibility ng newscast because it sounds like you've taken a side already. And then number two, you're not bothering to explain. You're just spotting the words and expecting people to understand and accept, which is not what the journalist is supposed to be.
So what you're saying is having a close relationship with yung mga activists na or mga groups na to, it compromises the objectivity of...
No. I'm saying may plus and minus.
May plus and minus.
May advantage and disadvantage. The advantage is that with exposure to issues like these, you should have a deeper grasp of these issues, and you should be able to explain it better. And you should get really interested in these issues. That's the positive side of it. The negative side of it, if you're not careful, is that like people who cover the defense or like people who cover Malacanang, minsan they sound like they're speaking for the people they're covering, which may not always be good.
Sa case mo, would you say that you were deeply involved with the issues that
I'd like to think that my involvement with them was on a very professional and friendly level. In the sense, I cover both RA and RJ. Magkaaway mo yan. So I'm not identified with either of them. But at that point I was comfortable with both of them. And I understood their issues. Hinanakit nila sa isa't isa. Hinanakit sa isa't isa, hinanakit sa gobyerno. So pag nagsama yung, pag nagkadikit yung dalawa, nagkikiskisan yung mga yan. I don't think I was too close, but I think I was. I'd like to think we were at that point na we understood what they wanted to say. And I conveyed it properly.
Do you recall the protest that you covered sa Menjola? Yung siguro yung first na... Hindi naman first, pero yung mga what you remember most siguro.
Mid-90s. It's really hard to read without particulars.
Yung coverage nyo, paano nagsisimula? Kung pupunta kayo doon,
I don't like waiting for people there. Usually pag mag-match naman, kasama ako for the march. Kasi for several reasons, one of which is that I'm with television. And you know how it is naman, pag nag-marcha yung mga yan, going to Menjola, usually nagkakaharangan yan before. Paluan, batuhan, tapos takasan, tapos then yan in Menjola. So as a general rule, we don't wait for events in Menjola. You go with where they are, where they start, and then march there. My problem is that I can't recall specifics. Of course, we covered issues, we covered rallies on again, reform, the Menjola massacre, the national ID system. Important question dyan, mid-90s yun eh. May chacha naman eh. May chacha naman eh.
Okay, Ramos, oo.
Yeah. Things like that, but particulars, I would have difficulty remembering particular rallies. I would have impressions pa rin. Like, when you look at Menjola, it's so funny because it's not even a bridge. It's actually an estero with a slab of cement on top. And this, when I was younger kasi, I remember when I was a student mga mid-80s yun, babasa mo sa traffic, pinag-aaway nila negotiations. Can we move a foot closer into Menjola? Sayo ng police, hindi, it's symbolic eh. Hindi pwede. Tapos, ang lilit ng Menjola, pinag-aaway nila gano'n. That much I remember. But it was 80s.
Nung pinacover niyo na, ano yung angulo na pinapost niyo sa dating kwento?
Angulo? Depende sa story eh.
May significant ba yung confrontation ng police at ng rallies?
Well, there've been a few exciting coverages that I've been to in Menjola, nagkakapukan. But offhand, I wouldn't remember particular rallies. Mas kasi natatanda ko yung mga EDSA 2, EDSA 3 na eh. Mas recent kasi yun eh. Yung 90s that parang it dissolves into gray. Gray area na eh. May tumatagal yun eh.
Pero yun yung nag-stick, may paluhan sa Bulan.
Yeah. Paluan na Bulan, and always from the mid-80s to the mid-90s, negotiations for space, for that symbolic space of Menjola Bridge. Can we move one more foot, another foot?
Yun ba yung lumalabas din sa news?
No. In our news, what we normally try to do, at least in my time on Sky Cable, we don't cover kasi the rally per se. The rally is a take-off to another issue. Diba? If you cover the rally per se and that's your story, that's police reporting it.
Okay. So it's police reporting if you cover the rally person.
Yeah, which is yung ilan sila. Mainit yung araw, nakagiti ba yung police? Nakariot gear ba sila? Nagkakaluan ba? Ilan yung hinatak? That's police reporting. But your ideal reporting, which I'd like to think we tried to do during that time, is that, for example, if the rally is about the national ID system, Panang Ramos, rally sa Menjola, ang take-off mo, yung opening video mo, yung opening lines mo is about the rally. It's active eh. It's attention-grabbing. From there, you go into discussion of national ID system, the pros and the cons. And then, after you discuss that, then you go back to end with the rally. So, the rally is supposed, I'd like to think the rally is supposed to be it's supposed to be, what's the phrase? A means to an end. It is not the end of your story. In the same way, the rally for rallies is supposed to be a means to an end. It's supposed to be their means to convey a message. It is not the message itself. But a lot of reporters tend to confuse that eh. Ito na story ako. Nag-rally ang 50, nag-rally ang 100. Tapos, Henry Magadias, ABS-CBN News. Yun.
So, yung sinabi mo, yun nga, when you do a story like sa National ID System, you put the rally kasi may action. Yun yung pinaka-objective nun. Pero you don't normally include that kung walang rally na rally.
What do you mean? Yung issue?
Oo. Like, for example, how sige, kunwari, ang yung take-up ko siguro is, anong klaseng rally nagme-merit ng attention with the media? Is it the number? Is it the... Kasi may issue minsan na may nagra-rally naman. Laging may nagra-rally. Bawat issue may grievance, may protest. So, paano yung ganun? How do you determine kung...
Walang hard and fast rule dun eh. And that also depends on the networks eh. Iba-ibang diskarte yan eh. As a general rule, rightly or wrongly, whether it's television, print, or radio, as a general rule, action leads. You need action before you go into other things. As a general, and then, again, like I said, rightly or wrongly. So in a lot of cases, yung mga reportage on issues, a lot of cases, the reportage on rallies have to do with the action of the rally itself and the dispersal. Hindi yung, if ever, may mention, hindi yung issue. So, your question is, let me go to your question. Can you repeat your question?
The question is, not really, I don't know if it's the issue or the number. What type of rally?
If you cover the issue kung walang rally.
Or
Okay.
there's a rally, but maybe you just think it's not that significant kasi lima lang kasi. Yun nga, parang
Kasi
ganon.
mukhang kawawa lang naman eh.
Ha? Oo.
Baka magandang issue mo tapos hindi mo ang kawawa. Baka matawa lang yung nanonood sa'yo at sa kanila. And your story will end up looking ridiculous. And again, if it's a good issue, kawawa rin yung issue mo. Magandang storya, gumagandang storya. Admittedly, gumagandang storya pag wala ka ng rally. When I say story, for example, an issue story, gumaganda yung treatment ng storya pag may mas magandang color. In this case, yung rally. But that should not limit the reporter from doing stories without rallies. Those are two different things.
Yeah.
How did we handle it during my time in Sky Cable? I'd like to think we tried to strike the balance. There were times when we've been criticized for doing onerous stories na walang ka buhay-buhay. 3-4 minutes ang haba sa mga issue ang hirap pag-usapan na walang action video. We've been nasita na kami doon. But we still try to do them. Kahit hindi ganun ka-popular panoorin. Mas malaki kasi ang pressure dun sa free TV networks. When I say free TV, I'm referring to ABS and GMA. During that time, yung network portion, the ratings were. Kami Sky Cable, it's cable TV. So we had the advantage of not really caring if our ratings are down. So, we have this story. I remember kasi I think we did a series on the national ID system. That's why I keep referring to it kasi I remember that so distinctly. Ang hirap gawin, ang hirap paliwanag, wala kang video, wala kang buhay-buhay. Ang hirap buhay ng storya. You still try to do it.
Yung sa national ID system, you covered the protest ng diba?
Yeah. Among other things. Again, these are things that stuck to me. Whether these are the more important things or not.
So,
it's a different matter altogether.
do you remember kung ano nangyari dun sa protest na yun and the national ID system?
Well, it was shelved. At least until... Hindi na national ID system, anti-terror law yun, anti-terror bill yun. That was only part of it. I remember that. Yung anti-terror bill pa yung ginawa namin na series.
Yung sa protest na to, yung sa protest, the protest against these bills or policies. Naalala mo ba kung ano yung mga nangyari, lalo na sa Menjola, in this protest? Was it, like, you mentioned kasi kanina yung mga paluan, pupukan, pero may mga iba pa pang mga negotiation of space. in the use of the space.
I'm afraid particulars, kung magkakupan during that time, if it was specifically Santa Isabel Bill, I'm afraid I'll be lying to you if I told you na, yun yun. I'll be lying to you. I really can't remember.
But do you remember who you talked to get or interview to get your story? Like, pero
Hindi ba patay na?
Hindi, like, kunwari, of course, yung mga activists, you interview, dun sa protest.
We always try to get more than just activists. Actually, you know what, we try to tell activists all the time, especially when it's an interview. During the interview, please don't talk like you're shouting slogans.
Like, you tell them that.
Yeah. Talk like you're talking to people. To explain your, kasi it's useless to go into phrases na likahon. Because people won't understand that. It doesn't even. Anyway, sorry. That's particular people. Example, si Bonnie Gallego. I don't know if you remember him. Yeah, he used to be, even he was an activist in this time.
What about yung mga bystanders noon sa Menjola?
Pag nag-rally na medyo mainit, wala namang bystander. Meron ng mga estudyante dumadaan pa uwi.
Ayun yung na-observe na.
Yung mga nandun, mga intel, saka yung mga police na plain clothes. Okay, yung estudyante nga nakunipuan yung pa-uwi na nag-fishball.
Anong nila, reaction nila sa...
It's Menjola, it's the place where people converge to air their grievances. So, it's been passed on from generation to generation that if you study Menjola, masanay kami rally doon. So for them, for all the students here, who cares? Di ba? Imagine mo yung Menjola. Barbarian. Police phalanx yan. Hahampas din yung mga realista. Naghahampasan yung mga yan, nagkikiskisan yung mga yan. Pero sa gilid, mga estudyante nagdadaan lang yan, nakikwentuhan. Hanggang hindi pa nabubumbahan ng tubig. Wala lang. Nagkikwentuhan. May fishball, dali mga sinerok sila. Sa gilid kasi, nagiging kayo ng puwang mga one or two people yung with para nakakadaan yung mga estudyante, obviously. So, sa gitna, maghahampasan, so symbolic naman kasi. Maghahampasan yan, in the meantime, ladi-lada.
Saan po ang press ng media?
Ay, depende. Kung, especially kung TV, kung may hampasan na, tiskisan, nagirian, at nagpapaluan na, at you have several cameras, maganda sana meron kang mataas na konti. So yun. Tapos isa naman nakalibig sa baba. Hindi mo sasabing gitna Kasi kung nasa gitna ka, bukol-bukol ka na. So, kung ito yung isang linya, kampas na ganyan, usually ang medium dito, dito sa gilid. Kung saan dumadaan mga estudyante, tapos yung mga estudyante, kasi dumadaan sa likod mo. Dito, o kaya sa likod. But that's not advisable. Kasi pag nagbatuhan, ikaw tatamaan O kaya pag binomba naman to, ikaw ang bubombahin.
Pero walang preference na pumunta sa likod ng mga police.
Hindi naman. Pag before magkainitan, minsan hang around there. Pero pag mainit na, usually side sa gilid. Again nga, 2 lines. Dito yan sa gilid. Tapos nakataas yung makawal ng gano'n. Kasi you stay in the crowd, whether it's a crowd of police or crowd of militants. You either get black eye or you get blouse and water.
Yun yung
And if you have a camera, that's not really good.
Yun yung ina-anticipate naman pag nagpa-cover.
Yeah, but kasi nga especially in television and photography, you're there to capture an icon or an iconic moment that would define what your story would be. So if your story is about a heated rally or a protest, you want an iconic shot, which would be, for example, nakikiskisan, nag-aaway, I know it sounds bad. But yeah, you're looking for iconic moments that would define. Yeah, pag lumabas sa dyaryo, di ba? Buitre nga kami, pero pag lumabas sa dyaryo yan, sa unang tingin, nakuha mo na ako, may ito ito. Nag-awayan lang ito. Buitre nga kami.
Betraying God. So, yung sabi mo nga, ito yung napakita mong action about yung protest. So, dun sa story mo, or yung nasa video footage, what did you want to convey about yung Menjola or about the protest?
Usually naman it's not about the protest.
It's about the issue. Like what you said.
That's the ideal. I'd like to think that we try to do that most of the time. Well, obviously, you won't always succeed. Kasi minsan talagang, mas maganda minsan talaga yung, lalo pag nagkapalaw ng ligi eh.
Oo.
Pag nag-riot na yan, you'll devote more time for the conflict. And obviously, you'll have to devote less time for discussion of the issue. So, yun.
Na-recall mo kung may particular consciousness yung mga nagrarally na, may media.
Yung parang alam nila na
Mas
media
develop siya
na.
ngayon.
Mas nagano siya.
Meron na nun.
Meron.
Pero
silang nag-take.
mas develop na ngayon. Alam mo, papansin mo naman, pag mamalsa yan, pag wala pang media, medyo cool pa yan. Pag nandiyan ng TV, kapit-bisig na yan, tapos pag nakapwesto na lahat, saka magkakasuguran.
Nakapwesto na lahat yung the media.
Most especially pag nakapwesto yung Channel 2 at Channel 7. I will say that kasi galing Channel 2 eh. Ang mapapansin mo naman, whether it's politicians or cause-related groups, people who see the media, obviously, they want to get the message across. And in this case, the message that you want to get across, to get more mileage, siyempre, kung mapapabubog ka, gusto mong mag-rolling camera. Kung hindi, papaulit mo. I know, again, it sounds like, it doesn't sound so good, but it goes both ways eh. And again, this doesn't sound so good. They use the media, and the media uses them. It's how you strike the balance na siguro. They have an issue that they think is very important, and they try to use the media. Kami naman, we have a job, and perhaps the issue really is important, so we try to strike the balance. It's not always easy, it doesn't always work, and sometimes the commercials and the ratings come in. Umahaba pa ito natin.
Kasi, a few questions na. Kasi you've been both sa...
I'm worried about your take.
You've been both sa print saka sa TV. Yung mga protesters ba, of course, I would assume mas responsive sila or mas sila
television.
Sa television. Kasi alam naman nila na media kayo with the press badge minsan. As a print journalist reporter, hindi sila masyadong engaged?
Kasi you cannot tell a print reporter from a bystander. Not unless he has a camera, in which case he's a photographer.
Okay.
Pero in print reporters, magkawa may print reporters eh. Lalo pag politiko, tapos hindi kilalang dyaryo ka. Kawawa ka.
Paano ka?
Di ka mapansin mo. Kung example, whether it's a politician or militant or an aliyist. Pag ako naka-t-shirt na ako, tapos may ballpen ako, tapos may papel ako, nagtanong ako, sino leader mo? Nagtakintil ka ba kung ano? Kapakita mo ng ID. Pero even then, ID, magagawa mo sa recto eh. Yung mga intel na may ID. So, mas responsive sa television kasi the accoutrements of the profession are there for everybody to see, which is the big camera. And that lonely lens. Ang reporter sa dyaryo kasi,
Oo.
Pero tingnan, may panahon namin, wala pang masyadong tape recorder.
Yung tape recorder.
So, mas pagsususpetsa ka pag matanong ka. Siyempre, baka nga naman Intel ka.
Oo. Meron bang nakikipag-usap o lumalapit sa inyo mismo na activist? Kasi di ba normally, you look for people to talk to. Pero may lumalapit na.
Once identify yun naman, usually may email form na yun. Pero ngayon, hindi na meme yun. Pero naman yun kasi mini-meme yun eh.
Oo.
Pag na-identify ka na media, may nag-iikot na meme inyo. Whether it's galing sa KM o LFS o RPABB.
Oo. Siguro I only have 3 questions. Were there particular stories about Menjola that you did not see in print or in broadcast? Yung particularly yung protest na na-edit, subject to editing?
You mean stories that were censored? Or
by the network itself or by your editor?
stories that were censored by the network because of content?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Pero yung notion na hindi bibenta yan.
Hindi bebenta or
The biggest censor is not especially in television. The biggest censor would not be your political censor. It never is. Well, even if it was, bibihira lang yun. Kasi political censor, ibig sabihin, sinensor dahil hindi ko gusto yung ganyan mo eh. Bibihira yung ganun eh. Ang biggest censor mo sa television is the commercial censor. When you're told by your bosses na, ba't ka ba nagawa ng mga ganyang story? Puro lang mga unisip mga yun eh.
May ganung instance ba?
Hindi sa akin sinasabi directly. Kasi makulit ako eh. But you hear it a lot. You hear it a lot from other reporters who were told that. And you hear it a lot from producers who may not censor it directly, but they keep dropping these remarks na, why do we keep covering these stories? Pilitan na naman, may asawa sa mga yan. Hindi never na natuwa yung mga yan sa kahit anong ginawa eh. Things like that. And the bottom line is the ratings, of course. There's a perception that people are not interested in issues that are carried by militant groups, and therefore they would not be watched, and therefore the viewer would switch channels to the competitor, and therefore your ratings would go down, and therefore your advertisement would go down.
It's a perception. It's not really a study or...
What's a perception? You're referring to?
Yung sinasabi mo, yung pag militante,
Na bumababa ratings?
So it's a perception. Hindi naman siya
perception eh. You can see the market react eh. And not just with militant stories. The best example nun lang is why do you have showbiz stories every gap in the newscast?
Medyo parang bago-bago nga.
It's a recent development. But now the two major networks carry that style. Sa lahat ng teasers per gap. Susunod, Chris Aquino, STD, 45 minutes yun, Phil Patrol. 45 minutes, have you ever, kasi Nelson Mandela ba nandito, would he give that much time? Nobody's ever done a study on it kasi it would be embarrassing. I mean, what network would commission a study that would embarrass itself? But you can see the tangible effects or the symptoms. The symptoms are pretty clear naman eh. Networks believe that the public can greater appreciate and grasp stories about Chris Aquino and Rufo Gutierrez than for Conflasyon. Is that perception or not? Totoo ba yun o hindi? The networks have held on to that belief. Probably because they see the numbers. We would like to go by the thinking na you shouldn't give people what they want. You should give them what they what I need. I know, it's a little, parang yayabang yun. But, yeah.
Yung, looking back, could you have written your stories or covered the stories differently or the same way? Now that you're...
You always naman want to, when you look back, you always tell yourself na, I wish I did it better. I wish I did it a different way. I wish I did it this way or that way. There's always that na parang, no matter how, at the end of the day, you felt good about your story. A week later, pwede pa. Pwede kang yusin. Sorry,
on protest, like yung na-mention mo na protest sa Menjola, on, like for example, yung sa national ID system or yung anti-terror law, meron bang sense of like, you could have done a better story?
I think I could have produced a better story. The problem kasi with TV is that you're always, marami ang kaaway sa TV eh. Yung kaaway mo sa TV, maliban sa oras, producer mo, ratings mo, commercials mo, editors mo, deadline mo. Lahat yan, they come up on you at 5 o'clock, at 5:30 in the afternoon. So, obviously, at the end of the day, it always would have done better. Ganito lang, sorry, I'm rambling. I would think that I would have wanted to have done it in a better, more understandable, and more graspable way. Issues that other people would have just rather ignored or thrown to the wind. Yun. Parang ang dami pang space for creativity. That's where creativity comes in.
Yung last question ko, when you read or hear news coverage of current news coverage of Menjola, what comes to mind? Like, kunwari napapanood mo yun?
What comes to mind is that a lot of people don't understand anymore the symbolism of Menjola as the previous generations. Now, when you say magrarally ang mga tao sa Menjola, ang darating ilan lang, parang walang impact. I don't know if it's a problem with the coverage or a problem with the public or a problem with the people who participate in protests. Iba yung Menjola ng 80s at 90s, ibang Menjola ng new millennium. Ngayon, pag sabing rally kami sa Menjola, parang, wala, panis yan. EDSA na eh. And na-dilute yung impact ng images of militancy in Menjola. I remember kasi in the olden days, this is iconic photograph of Menjola that I always used to see in newspapers and in books. The phalanx of private policemen here, Marcos to eh. Tapos yung mga rallies here in Chino Roses. Tapos yung traffic arrow, yung nakapintura sa kalsada. The traffic arrows pointing to the policemen. Parang it gave me that initial impression na parang when you look at the photograph, sugod tayo. I was pointing.
Kinuha mo yung photo?
No, I'm not a photographer.
Yeah.
I wish. Pero for me kasi, that symbolizes Menjola more than anything. It's a bridge that is not a bridge. But there was a time that it carried more weight than a lot of other places in Metro Manila.
Yung last question. Kung may dagdag pa, huwag sa akin.
Sorry, you're talking kasi about the time that was so long ago.
Okay.
Like I told you, mga recollections ko naman dyan lang mas recent is yung Edo Dos Edores eh.
Oo. Nandun ka rin ba nun?
Yeah.
Sa EDSA 3?
2 and 3.
Oo. Yung sa 3. Nandun ka sa Menjola. Yung coverage. Oo.
Medyo nag-iba nga yung sa Menjola ng Edo Dos kasi tear gas, riot police, tapos mga jologs. To be honest about it, pigon ako. Parang, sige, tigas open.
Oo. Talaga.
Kasi parang ano nun eh. They were also picking on us eh.
Oo, ano sa lalo na
Oo,
paano
too.
na?
They were picking on us. Tignan mo kung bag nun eh.
Oo.
I was with the correspondence din eh.
Oo.
At that time, galit na galit yung mga pro-Arab sa amin eh.
Oo.
Kinuyog nga ako ng arrest ni Iraq. Kinuyog ako sa harapan ng bahay niya. Nagbabato ko ng kung ano-ano.
Oh, tapos anong ginawa mo?
Anong
Oo.
kinuyog ako? Naghanap ako ng isa sa kanila. Tapos yung humihimansili ko.
Pero
Pag-isa lang ako nun eh. Wala yung camera mo.
okay. So hindi mo to na-report or na-capture in film.
Hindi. There were already reporters who were reporting it.
Oo.
But I didn't have a camera at the time. Nauna akong dumating eh.
Oo.
Pinakamaingay sa kanila. Hinawakan ko. Tapos pinanghimansili ko. Pinangsangga ako. Nilakad ko pala.
Ito yung may mga nasunod, diba na...
Ay, hindi. Menjola yun. Menjola yun.
Oo, hindi yung alas.
Arrest was in Polk.
Oo, yung sa post.
Sorry, so, mas natakpan ng mga memories na yun yung memories ko ng Menjola. My memories of the old Menjola are more impressions sa not really distinct memories.
Siguro yung ano lang kahabol. Anong reaction ng mga like reporters if you tell them like they will be covering you sa yung ngayon?
Ngayon?
Oo, yung mga journalists. Kunwari magko-cover sila ng big mobilization sa ano yung
Ngayon,
usually yung
pag sabi ng
reaction
Menjola,
nila?
ay, walang mangyayari dyan. Because Menjola now, it's a fortress now eh. They already set up a permanent roadblock going to Malacanang. And you know, like it or not, the time when militants in Menjola really stood for something appears to have come and gone already. I don't know why. Maybe it's a different generation. Now when people are angry, they go elsewhere. They go blogging. Or they go chatting. Before kasi, when you're angry, you go to Plaza Miranda or you go to Menjola. And that's where you speak your mind out. Batuhan kayo ng blog.
Ayun. So, thank you.
Sorry, I wish I could have helped more.
Oo. So, salamat.